Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. This episode is brought to you by Sarah Adelaide, one of our newest Patreon patrons. Today, we're going to talk about the latest Pocket Camp event and tools in Animal Crossing. So to get started, hello Sergio, how are you doing?
Hello Chewy, I'm doing quite well. What about you?
Doing great. It's been a busy weekend. We're recording a little bit earlier, which is kind of cool, you know? Kind of cool to get it in this time of day. Maybe there won't be helicopters flying over me randomly.
That's right.
I think one came by like right before we started recording, so that's fine. But it's just random. Happens.
Yeah.
So I guess before we get started with the topics that we're going to be covering, I actually wanted to make a small announcement for our next live show. So if you love this show and you've listened to every episode or maybe the live episodes, you know that every once in a while we do a live show. And because we have all of this busy stuff coming up, things during the holidays and everything, we're going to do a live one just before that gets too crazy,
yes.
You know? So I don't know how your schedule is, Sergio. I'm hoping this date and time is still okay with you.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so for everybody, we will be hosting our live holiday special. That's right, it's going to be a holiday special. And it's on December 20th, 2018. So that's going to be a Thursday. And the show will be at 10 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. Pacific. 8 p.m. my time. And it will take place on our Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord yet, it's totally free. You can just join. We'll greet you. There's always a welcoming committee there, ready to say hello to anybody who joins the Discord. But yeah, join. There's links in the description of this podcast, whether you're listening on, a podcast platform or on YouTube. Whatever you look into, it'll have a link to the Discord. And for anybody who can't join or cannot be there, this show will still go up at the regular time, which is Tuesdays. Mm-hmm. So just look out for that. It'll be our holiday special. And then, I guess we've got kind of plans for the next couple of shows because the next one does come out on December 25th. And for those of you who celebrate Christmas, that'll be Christmas Day.
Yes.
So who knows how our listenership will do that day, just with everybody being, with their families and everything. But if you take the time to listen to us and spend some of your Christmas with us, that's very special.
Definitely. I think we should have some holiday music on the live one.
Yeah, I think so. We'll mess with that. We'll find some good holiday Animal Crossing tracks. I was gonna say like animal tracking, but yeah, we're gonna have some great tracks for that one.
And you know what? I have a prediction. Here goes. I feel like that Thursday on the live show, there's going to be some news, something exciting. I can feel it. There's going to be something for us to talk about live with all the listeners. Maybe. I hope I'm right. So here goes.
That would be really cool. I didn't even think. I guess I'm just at the point where I'm like, just January, everybody. I know we've been waiting a really long time, but like we've got to hear something by January about something going on. So I don't know.
Yes.
I hope you're right though, if there's something early on. And then even like the week after that will be a New Year's show. So not only are we going to be posting this on Christmas Day, but the next episode will go up on New Year's Day. So we'll have a special episode then too to kind of look back at the news from Animal Crossing that we've gotten throughout the year. Look back, I don't know if you all remember, but we made like Animal Crossing resolutions at the beginning of the year. We'll see where we are on those. We'll probably look for that episode. And then also, I want to make some new ones, new Animal Crossing resolutions, which it's going to be a big year for that because that's 2019, the year of Animal Crossing.
Yes, this is the year, and that's the first episode of the year, so it's a big one.
Yeah, so it should be fun from here on out. But we've got some really great things to cover today, so let's get into that. First thing we're going to cover is, of course, the Pocket Camp Gyroid Scavenger Hunt event. So if you've been playing Pocket Camp, you're probably going running around your areas and trying to find different gyroids. I mean, there's one type of gyroid, but you want to find a lot of them so you can make everything. Have you been playing Sergio, or have you still been kind of off of it?
I've been off of it, but I heard about this event. I know it's kind of tricky.
Yeah, so the festive events are continuing, and so this one is now a gyroid scavenger hunt. So you're, like I said, you're just looking for gyroids in each area, and I think if you wait an hour or two or so,
Hmm.
I think the max that is in your spot is like 10 gyroids that you can find.
Ooh,
So
okay.
yeah, there are ways to maximize how much you get each time, but I don't know. I just kind of stick to playing every couple of hours, you know?
Oh, and I'm betting, or I'm guessing they don't show up at the cabin, do they?
No, I checked the cabin. They're not showing up in that area. Though if it had an outdoor area, I think it would be another place to check out for
Yes,
gyroids. Maybe one day we'll get
maybe.
that. um, so I guess with this one, all that you can craft with the gyroids is clothing. So
Mm.
there's no like furniture or anything. There's 5 pieces of clothing that you can get. My favorite is by far the ugly Toy Day sweater. It is so cute. I know they call them like ugly Christmas sweaters, but they're cute.
Yeah,
I don't understand why they're ugly when they're so cute.
definitely.
um, so yeah, this one I as soon as I got it, I just put it on. I'm wearing that for the rest of the time. So
Nice.
it's adorable. I love it. There's a couple different things with the outfit. My second favorite is that like there's kind of a dress that's like a festive tree, you know?
Oh,
And then you can put that on, but not only that, there's a hat that's a star. So like your head looks like a star. So
nice.
you yourself can go as the festive tree in Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. And I still have to get the hat. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm working toward right now. But I really wish the ugly Toy Day sweater was cheaper because it's like 50 gyroids to
Oh.
make it. And so I'm like, I'm probably only going to make like one, maybe two extra ones,
Hmm.
but I want a million. Like, I want every single animal in my camp to wear one, every single
Oh,
animal
that's
in my
right.
cabin. Yeah, so I don't know. I wish it was a little cheaper just because, like, it is really cute.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so I don't know, maybe one day in the future. There are also actually some leaf ticket items that are pretty cute. There's one that's like a reindeer hat. You get little antlers
Oh.
and a cute little rainbow design. That one cost, I think it was 90 leaf tickets. I got it. I was like, whatever. This is too cute to pass up. And then there's also a red reindeer nose, kind of like Rudolph, you know?
Oh, I saw that one. Yes.
Yeah, so that one's cheap, but you can only get one of them, which is the
Oh.
bummer. Yeah, so that one's 5 leaf tickets.
Oh, wow.
Um,
That's cheap.
yeah, so it's really cheap. It's worth getting that one at least. I think the one bummer about that one, I guess the reason you can only get one of them is because your animals can't really wear accessories, you know?
Right. Hmm.
So it makes sense. Like nobody's wasting their leaf tickets on something that no other animal can wear, you
Right.
know, except yourself. Um, so that was nice of them to actually like literally you can't click on it and purchase it again.
Good.
So
Good.
yeah, so that's helpful. But I guess I think the hats other animals can wear, so you can get multiples of those.
Yes. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know, they're fun. They've got some really fun items right now. I've been using leaf tickets lately, but mostly because I got that deal and now I have a lot.
Oh, yes. That's right. Well,
Yeah,
for now.
yeah. For now, I have a lot. They're gonna disappear pretty soon. I've been thinking of doing a Pocket Camp Let's Play, for a while,
Oh, okay.
and I think it's just gonna be to open a bunch of fortune cookies. I'm going to buy one 5 pack of fortune cookies, and I'm going to open. Essentially, I have a big stockpile of regular fortune cookies saved up.
Oh, I see. Hmm.
Yeah, and today I actually have a rare fortune cookie in my camp, so I'm gonna get a video of me opening that one too.
Nice.
At least a rare one, not in my camp, at the marketplace.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it's one that's finally not Muffy's cookie, which is like the gothic one.
Yes.
That's the only one that ever pops up for me to buy, and I'm
Mm.
like, oh, okay, I guess I'll get another. But this time I have like I think it's the Fauna Toy Day cookie.
Oh,
So
yes. Hmm.
it's the one I want.
Nice.
I'm going to use leaf tickets on that one. So, yeah, outside of that, the one thing I'm noticing with these Pocket Camp events is I think they're going to be in this structure from now on, which is it starts with like a gardening event,
Hmm.
and then actually, did it start with the gardening event? I feel like
Probably.
it
Those
did.
are always around.
Yeah, so there's a gardening event. What was the event I told you about last week? Was it a fishing one? No, it wasn't fishing. It was
Mm. I
I'm
believe
not
people
sure.
were trading something.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure, but there's a gardening event, fishing event, gyroid event. I
Right.
think we're going to see a lot of these things kind of back to back from
Hmm.
here on out because what I'm noticing is we all while we're doing these events, there's always an overarching goal too
Hmm.
that you're going toward. So when you complete some tasks in the current events, you're getting um, items that go toward a bigger event that spans like multiple things.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So you remember how I told you there was a New Year, like the 1 year anniversary event, and you'd get
Yes.
1 year anniversary candles, and those went toward like the big 1 year anniversary cake item.
Yes. Hmm.
Um, so that same kind of structure is going on in this Toy Day event, essentially,
Mm.
where we've been getting a few events back to back, and those events go toward like a big thing, a big prize.
Mm. Nice.
So I think that's I think that's what I guess the creators were talking about when they talked about changing the scope of the game.
Mm.
I think they're doing things in a way where you're doing these little event type of things, but that goes toward like this big seasonal event, you
Yes.
could say.
Hmm.
Um, so, with that said, I'm going to predict that we're going to get this same kind of thing for New Year's.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
and I think the one from last week was the kudos one, right? The kudos challenge.
yeah, that one was a little bonus, like extra thing.
Oh.
I think it lasted maybe a week or so. I finished it in 5 minutes, like I said, but yeah, like that one was there. It's gone now, so you can't do it anymore.
Mm.
But it gave you a lot of leaf tickets. It gave you some fortune cookies that were really nice, like some rare fortune cookies, ones that are worth getting, I
Oh.
would say. Um, so yeah, that one it was an easy event. Maybe we'll see like others little ones pop up like that, but I liked it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a nice little thing that I could spend 5 minutes on and be done with.
Right.
But it was rewarding.
Yes. Hmm.
So yeah, I guess outside of that, Pocket Camp is doing the same old thing, just those types of things over and over. um,
Yeah, but it sounds like at least they're, sort of optimizing the structure, how the events work, and they're kind of tying them together, and that makes a lot of sense, and it should keep people playing.
yeah, and it keeps it active.
Yes.
And I like the gardening ones are pretty intensive. Like you have to keep
Oh
on
yeah.
those to keep up with it. But the gyroid ones, those are not bad. Like I play maybe 2 to 3 times per day, and I'm almost done with this.
Hmm.
So it's not like I've been doing a lot to complete it. I just happen to do some, and I complete it on the way.
Yeah. Nice.
Um, so I like getting that mix where sometimes every once in a while there's a gardening one where I'm like, okay, I've got to play all the time. And then it right after and before then, it's like, oh, cool, I can play this pretty
Less.
relaxed
Right.
game. Um, So yeah, it's nice, and I do like the overarching like seasonal big goal that every event is going toward,
Hmm
you know?
hmm
Because yeah, it adds to the items and stuff. The one thing I would say is it does seem like there aren't as many items in the regular events, you know?
Mm,
So it does kind of hurt that, where I feel like they save some of the items for this big event.
right.
And so, like I said, last fishing thing, there were maybe 5 items that you could get total, you know?
hmm
Whereas in the past, there have been like 7 to 9, you know?
Yes.
Like there have been quite a few items that you can get. Um, so I don't know. It's good, and there's some unfortunate parts, but I think they'll level it out as it goes, and giving them feedback helps a lot. So
Right.
maybe people are saying stuff, but I think overall, like I haven't seen too many complaints about Pocket Camp. I think the people who are playing it, they like it, they're enjoying it, and the
Yes.
people who aren't are just not. Um,
hmm
so yeah, and even when the people who are playing it, they aren't really finding a lot to complain about while playing the game.
hmm
Um,
And
so
if I follow it correctly, I believe once in a while they revive some of the previous like exclusive items that some players might have missed. If I'm assuming those are just new items for you to craft, right? They're not part of the new events.
um, I don't know. Do you mean like any items that you missed in an event prior?
Yes, like maybe a year ago at least.
Hmm, I actually don't know. I guess I haven't noticed any of the old items pop up. What I have
Hmm.
noticed is every once in a while they will bring back a fortune cookie.
Oh,
That
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So if you missed a fortune cookie for a limited time, they will have it available. So they did that with like the original 3 fortune cookies maybe a month ago. Um,
hmm
but yeah, that was about it. I don't think they've brought back any of the past event items, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been having fun with it. Like I said, I want to do a little let's play about it, just opening fortune cookies and spending some leaf tickets. I think it's fun to see people do that.
Yeah, that
uh,
sounds awesome.
yeah, and I have some specific things I want to say too because I have been looking. There's one fortune cookie that I'm nearly done with, like one of the regular ones. I'm missing one item
Oh,
and it just won't pop up for me.
mm.
So I have about 20 of those fortune cookies saved up. So I'm hoping one of those
Oh man.
is that item. Yeah. And even like in another fortune cookie, I'm missing like 2 of the rare items with it, which is the
Mm.
board game, which is probably one of the things I want the most,
Yes.
and another thing that I don't remember. um yeah, I forget what it is, but I want the board game a lot.
Yeah, I remember those are tricky. Maybe there should be a way for you to open more than one fortune cookie at the same time, and it kind of increases the odds of getting the rare items. But it doesn't sound like that's a feature.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I wish it would kind of reward you for spending more on fortune
Right.
cookies,
Right.
because I feel like that makes it more worth it for people to get fortune cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is Pocket Camp. Let's go ahead and get into our next topic, which is Animal Crossing tools. And so, Sergio, you came up with this. I guess, what are you thinking for this portion?
Yeah, so we thought it would be cool to talk about the tools in the game. And by tools, we're talking about the items that, like the main items, like the fishing rod, the bug catching net, or the axe. We wanted to discuss how we can improve these items, maybe some ideas of what other uses they could have, and basically how to optimize their usage in Animal Crossing Switch. Um, what inspired me to offer this idea as a topic was a suggestion by my best friend Danny. So I'm kind of just passing along his suggestion, and I thought it was awesome. So he suggested that in the next Animal Crossing game, all of these tools should just be kind of readily available. You should always have them on you. So basically, you wouldn't need them in your inventory. You would only press left and right on the D-pad, and you would kind of alternate between them. And I think that's awesome because they wouldn't take space in your inventory. You would always have them. I know that sometimes you want to use one specific tool for a special task, like the one that came to mind was when you're trying to catch the scorpions or the tarantulas. You want to get the net out when they're below you so you can kind of do a quick swing. So to do that, you could maybe set up one or two buttons like as a shortcut. And I'm assuming on the Switch there's going to be more buttons that we can use shortcuts for. So I think if all of these tools are always on you, that would be a really good solution in a big improvement for them.
Yeah, yeah. I hadn't even thought about like not, I guess, collecting the tools,
Hmm.
because I guess I was playing Stardew Valley, and you start out with 5 tools. I
Hmm.
think that's the number, but you start out with the watering can, pickaxe, shovel, scythe. I think I forget what the other one is, but I think the only tool that you don't get from the get go was a fishing rod.
Oh.
But you get that like the next day just by going to the beach.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not like it's super hard to
Mm.
get. Um, but yeah, there are. I guess you just have them from the get go. But the way that the gameplay works in Stardew Valley is, yes, you start with the tools, but they're not very good. Like you
Mm.
have to level them up to get, just better, get them to work better.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about Animal Crossing going that direction where you start with all of the tools, but they're not the best tools that
Right.
you have. Like you kind of have to work at it first
Right.
to
Right.
and then maybe over time be able to level them up, you know?
Right. And I know there's a slight differences, using like for example the slingshot is either I believe it's either one bullet, three or five. And so once you unlock the better slingshot, there could be like a sub menu so you can go back to the old one if you wanted to, just because you should have that option.
Yeah, and that specific example, I prefer the silver watering
Oh.
can over the gold watering can.
Oh, yes, yes.
And it was mostly because the animation of the gold watering can took a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it watered more flowers, but the way my flowers were arranged, the silver watering can was actually quicker for me.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's one example where I would prefer to go back to the older version, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah, I'm surprised I used the golden watering can as long as I did because my my plants or my flowers were just in rows, you know? So,
Yes.
there was no reason for me to water 9 at a time.
I remember that. That was the same for me, but I think I gave my silver watering can to a friend of mine, so I was stuck with the gold one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And luckily, like, I think the silver watering can, it's just a random encounter type of thing where
Hmm.
it just happens to be at Leaf's shop that day.
Yes. Hmm.
So it's not, like you have only one chance at getting it.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas some of the items, like, you do only have that one chance. But I guess also thinking about getting items from the beginning and not having really take up a space in the inventory, that also gets rid of the risk of selling it
Oh,
on
that's a good point.
accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times people will kids especially will accidentally sell their items that they used, to do things while they're trying to sell, I don't know, maybe bugs or fish or that sort of thing.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden it's gone and they have to wait for it to show up again.
Right.
And sometimes it's a golden item and there's kind of not really any way to get it back again
Yes, that's right.
unless you make another character, catch every single fish in the game, and that takes forever.
Right.
That takes so long to do.
Yeah. But you know what? At the same time, though, it would, because I know probably you as well, we have helped some people start in the game. And we're pretty far along, so we kind of maybe give them some of the better items so they can start up a little quicker. So maybe if they do implement this new system, there could be a way for you to order these items as gifts, so you could still give them away.
That would be pretty cool. Um, yeah, I guess from the way I always played the game is I'm not huge on getting a lot of help in the beginning. Like I like
Hmm.
getting the sense of growing that town myself,
Yes. Hmm.
and getting to that point myself. But some people do want to be quicker about it, so that would be helpful.
Yeah, and we can always give bells. I know we did that a lot for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can go through the actual tools, and we can kind of discuss some ideas that we may have for additional uses. For example, for the axe, I was thinking maybe there could be another part-time job, like for part-time job for Brewster at the Roost. There could be another one that takes place during the winter, and the player could use the axe to cut down some firewood. And you could use it in your home, or you could also either sell it to the animal villagers or just give it away, during the winter for their fires.
Yeah, and you know what that makes me think of? In population growing for the GameCube, during the winter, I think there was a week where Tortimer, or maybe it was like late summer, fall, I don't remember.
Mm.
It was definitely not spring. That's what I do know. But at some point, Mayor Tortimer goes on vacation and he asks you if you'll turn on the lighthouse every day at like
Oh
6
yes.
p.m. And so like it's a random little task. There's not really a repercussion for not doing it, but you do get something special if you manage to do that every time, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, yeah, I guess I like the idea of having little jobs, little random jobs where it's just not something that normally happens, and
Yeah.
it's not something that I guess punishes you if you don't have it, or don't do
Mm.
it.
Yeah, like a little extra. Man, it would be so nice if there's maybe at least one of these a month, or maybe every other month. So there's like six new little things that you can do.
Yeah, yeah, it would be pretty cool just to have like a random fun thing that you can do, and yeah, I like the thought of little animals needing some fire to warm up their chimney.
Yeah.
So you need to chop some wood for them.
Yep. Then for the fishing rod, so other than just river and beach fishing, maybe there could be another feature that maybe we could rent Captain's boat for like an hour or two, and you could take it out to the open sea to catch either rarer or bigger fish. And maybe you could do this in multiplayer so that up to four or maybe more players can pay a single fee and everyone gets to fish.
I love that. 'Cause like one of the coolest moments going back to population growing again is when you take Captain's boat out to the island in that one,
Yes.
there's a chance of seeing like a giant shadow,
Oh.
and that's like a whale, swimming by. Um, so yeah, I think it would be really cool to go like further out in the ocean,
Hmm.
and maybe that's like the way you have to do, uh, or the method you have to use to catch like other things,
Yeah.
that you
Hmm.
haven't seen before. Um, yeah, I think that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, maybe you could like bring some drinks and some sandwiches and have a little fishing tournament or session. Ah, sounds so cool.
Yeah, that would be really awesome.
Yeah. Next we have it's the little toy hammer that the one in New Leaf that you use for some of the mini games. I know you can buy it and eventually, basically, you only use it to hit the villagers, which is not very nice. So another usage, I don't know. It's hard to come up with one. Maybe you could use them to hang pictures in your home.
Oh yeah, I guess that would be something. But I guess when you get a photo of a villager, you can only really put it on something, right? You can't
Right,
hang it on the wall or
right.
anything.
No.
Yeah, so I guess choosing that, because my worry would have been like, oh, if you need the hammer to put things up on the walls, that would be like, I feel like that'd be
Hmm.
something that's annoying, that gets in the way of what you're able to do in the
Right,
game.
right.
But if it unlocks being able to put picture like something small like your favorite villagers' photos on the wall, I think that's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
think that's a smoother way to work that system in instead of having people to like have to rely on having this item to be able to put things on the walls of their home, you know?
Yes, definitely.
Which is like, that's how it works in real life, sure. But it's Animal Crossing. Like we just want to have some fun with it.
Right, right.
Yeah, so I like that. Especially because there's so much wall space that
Right.
that you can use, and whereas like when you're putting pictures just all over your home in the game regularly, like I feel like they take up a lot of room and you can only use so many.
Yes.
um so yeah, I guess I would like to see more options for putting pictures up.
Yes, definitely. So next we had the megaphone, and like you pointed out, there's no voice chat on the Switch, at least not on the system itself. So who knows if this item is even gonna come back?
Yeah, I have no idea. Like right now, we can't really do anything with our voice in the game. Like
Mhm.
maybe they'll implement the smartphone app for it, but I don't know. I guess I just
Right.
don't know how it would work. Um,
Unless they do another, I forget the official name of the accessory, but the one for city folk that was basically a microphone.
yeah, that's true. The We Speak,
We
right?
speak, right? Yes.
Yeah, that could be a way around it. I wonder if they'd go that direction ever. um, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see. It's next year. Shouldn't be too long
Yeah.
of a wait to find out. Next, we have the net, the bug catching net. So, I don't know really what else you could do with the net, but maybe they could add the internet. And
I don't know if it's
actually,
that kind of net.
no, right. But it would be cool though if there was internet in the game. I was thinking so you could browse either news reports or maybe rumors, weather reports, or maybe special sales from some of the stores. You could do that at home on your PC, or if they do add a phone to the game, like a cell phone, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess that would make me wonder what if they would use like the bulletin board at that point.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it'd
Right.
be interesting.
And if they do add a phone, I wonder if you're gonna be able to play Pocket Camp on it.
Yeah, that would be pretty strange. But hilarious.
Yeah. So the next tool on the list is the shopping cart, and I did not know about this, and this is pretty awesome. So this was exclusive to City Folk, and you could only use it at Gracie's shop and at the auction house because of the high price items in those places. But basically, it was a debit card, and it would take money from your ABD, the automatic bill dispenser, which is basically an ATM. So you didn't have to bring, a lot of bag bills with you to buy expensive items. You would just use your card, and that makes so much sense to me. I don't know why they would remove this item.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wonder why they would remove this item cuz the money takes so much room after a while. Like you can only hold what is it? 99,999 bells
Right.
before, which I don't know why they limit it at this point. Like
True.
maybe I mean
Hmm.
one thing could be like having that ABD card that you still use. The
Hmm.
other could be that they just increase how much money you're able to hold at once.
Right.
So, because, at this point, like when you go shop at Gracie's, there are items that cost more than 99,000 bells.
Yes.
So she charges so much for her stuff. And we call Red the villain.
Right.
But really, like, there's just like so many items, and if you go in to buy multiple things at once, like, you're gonna be carrying a million bells with you.
Yes.
So I don't know. It makes sense to have just that card to either lessen the amount of bell bags that you have in your pocket,
Hmm.
or just like let us hold more money. Like
Yeah.
even 999,000 would help a lot.
Right, because as far as I know, there's no way for you to lose the money that's in basically in your wallet. So they should just let us carry all of it if we want to.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to have just the bell bags there.
Yeah.
Um,
So that would do it unless because the for the shopping cart it was a gold one that basically gave you a 20% discount on those items. So maybe they could work something like that. Maybe you could get a credit card in the game and you may have to pay interest in looking for the best option, but maybe this is too much adulting in Animal Crossing.
yeah, I mean, paying a mortgage off, that's as adulting as you can get, right?
Right.
But adding credit on top of that, that could be that could be something else.
Right. So then for the shovel, I was thinking maybe they could be piles of snow during the winter that you may have to shovel away. So basically, maybe they are blocking you away from Main Street or from certain areas in your town. And like I said, you would have to use the shovel to shovel some of the snow away.
That would be cool too.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be too often so that it doesn't really get annoying, but it would be a cool little extra thing.
Yeah, and it'd be cool, like, I don't know if we could collect that snow too and make like an igloo or something, or
Oh,
maybe that's how you make the snowball to build a snowman, you know?
yeah,
So,
nice.
yeah, there are like different options for what you can do with snow.
Yeah, yeah. And so for another thing for the shovel, I know we can use them to break rocks, at least the daily rock that is breakable in your town. But I always wanted to be able to break rocks that that the traditional ones in your town, and I think there should be a way to pay Resetti to do that for you. But basically, we don't want the rocks to disappear completely and for there to not be any in your town. So he would probably say something like, "Yeah, I can move it away, but I'm gonna have to place it somewhere random in your town," and you would have to agree with that.
You know, I guess I'd be interested in all of these types of things becoming public works projects.
Right.
So like you can start with like bunch of rocks and things, like
Hmm.
normally you would, but like later in the game, say we do get this system where your shovel is just a weak little shovel at first, but you upgrade it to a gold one eventually, and you can break those rocks.
Right.
And then I guess the one worry would be like breaking a rock that you didn't mean to break. Maybe you have to hit it a certain amount of times before it does. That
Oh,
way you're just
okay.
like safe, you know,
Right.
from accidentally breaking a rock. But anyways, and then maybe you get that option. And then from there, you can be like, I still want rocks though. Like, I still want to be able to build them. So
Hmm.
you're like, oh, let's make a public works project that is just this like natural feature that's not completely
Ooh.
natural because we put it there,
Right.
but like it's a man-made natural feature.
Right.
So and I guess I feel that way about like even the ponds.
Hmm.
Like there are tons of ponds around your town. Maybe there's one, two, three, however many.
Oh
But maybe you
wow.
don't like where one of the ponds is, and you're like, you know what? I want to move this pond somewhere else.
Right.
So yeah, I would like to see those types of like natural features in your town be customizable. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm torn about it just because I like that aspect of the game where it's like you have to work around this. Like this is
Right.
just how your town looks and you can't change it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like either side has a good argument. Maybe they could just be really expensive, but imagine if you like ponds and you wanted one for each villager house, next to them.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be neat.
So, yeah, it would be cool to build some more. So, yeah, I don't know. I see the appeal of it. I see where I would hesitate being able to accept it.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I don't know. I think, oh, whenever I think of like getting really, really, really customized with this game,
Hmm.
I always think of the possibilities of a Happy Home Designer 2,
Hmm.
where like they did a really good job about growing a lot of the design features, but like they could go further with it, make it almost Sim style where you can build an entire town, plot everybody exactly where you want them.
Ah.
Um, so I don't know, like more straightforward life sim type of thing with Happy Home Designer too. Maybe one day they'll do it.
Yeah, so that could be like a side series.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think
Oh,
overall that one was the most fun of the spin-offs so
oh,
far.
for sure. Hmm.
Um, Maybe Amiibo Festival 2 will improve things a lot because there's a lot of it room for improvement. But right now, I think a lot of the potential lies in Happy Home Designer for this type
Yes.
of thing, you know?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So back to the tools. The next one is the slingshot, and I came up with a small little feature. It's not nothing too fancy, but so maybe you could use it to hit trees that are a little bit far away from you, and whatever is in the tree would fall. You know, whether it be fruit or an item or a couple of bells, but also the beehives. And if you were far enough, the bees would just fly away and they wouldn't chase you basically. So if you're kind of afraid of the potential bee attack, you could use the slingshot.
That would be pretty interesting. Changing like the way you can just aim your slingshot, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be pretty interested in that.
Next one is the timer, and that's the one that you use when you're playing multiplayer and you're trying to basically determine who can catch the most fish or bugs in like 5 or 10 minutes or so. And it would be nice to have the item back, and it might be interesting if they set it to the mobile app. So basically, you would use your phone as a timer, basically to make it a little more like you're actually using a separate device.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I mean, I wonder, like, it sounds like just having a phone as an item would be a big thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a
that
big
would be the
supporter
new
of that.
item that they add to this game.
Ah, that would be so cool.
But also, in that sense, like, I would think it's like a separate menu than just like
Yes,
your regular pockets, you know? And, like,
right.
it's not sitting in your pockets and you have to access it from there. It's just like its own menu that pops up.
What if it's in your phone
Yeah.
in real
that,
life?
oh, that would make it so difficult.
Wait, is this my phone or is the game phone? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
I
lost.
don't know.
The next tool is the tweeter, and I'm really not sure why this is considered a tool, but it is. It's one of the special items that you get from the Happy Home Showcase. It's kind of like a like one of those party blowers, the tweeter. So apparently there was a glitch that allowed you to push people into solid objects, but it sounds like they removed it in Welcome Amiibo.
Okay. I don't think I remember this one.
Yeah, there was also another one. I did this one. It allowed you to walk on the river. I think you have to. It's something with a shovel. I
Hmm.
don't remember the details, but yeah, it was actually pretty neat. I took a bunch of photos when I did it.
That's strange. Yeah, I guess I don't remember this item at all.
Yeah, I really didn't either. So I saw it when I was looking at our notes.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, not really sure why it's until maybe they won't even include it anymore. The next one, and this is a big one, the watering can. And I think it would be nice if we have to water our plants indoors. That would be a cool little extra feature, you know? And it could be either maybe once a day or maybe more, depending on the type of plant.
Oh man. I don't know if I could handle that because I already spend so much time watering plants outside. I guess there is the option for like the beautiful town ordinance, you know, but
Yeah.
I would rarely use it because for a long time, I was like bell boom ordinance, trying to get as much money as possible. And
Hmm.
then after a while, I was just like, man, I can't water these flowers anymore. I spend so much time with that. So I don't know. I feel torn about having to water them inside as well. Because I like to have a lot of the plants in my game.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Hmm.
at least like my home. Like I
Right, right.
decorate a lot with the greenery. So I don't know.
Nice. Maybe you could pay Leaf and he would water them for you.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
And the last tool on the list is the wetsuit, which again, I feel like this should be just a special clothing item. But like you noted, it would be really nice if we could swim on rivers and ponds. That would be a cool addition to the item.
Yeah, I want to swim. I want to be able to find underwater creatures in more places than just the ocean, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think they should add more bodies of water that you're able to go dive into and find things because that would grow that category more because it's the shortest one, you know? There
Yes.
aren't as many deep sea creatures as other things, so I think it's just the thing that needs to be added.
Yeah, and I'm a big supporter and hoper that they add swimming pools to the game, so that would be another one.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
We do have a swimming pool in Pocket Camp,
Hmm. Hmm.
so that's something that's possible, you know?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, so I guess that's all the tools that we have so far. I wonder if they're going to add more because like even the ones you listed, like there's so many more
Yes.
added like just in New Leaf too. Um
Oh yes.
be
Hmm.
it like the hammer, the megaphone, you know.
Right.
Um I think the timer was added. Was that in Wild World?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, so we've gotten some new items over the times, but I feel like most of the time you mainly think about your axe, your fishing rod, your net, your shovel, you know.
Yes. Hmm.
But there are more than that. So it's fun to see like these all listed out, and I still don't understand what the tweeter is. Um, oh, I guess it's the little thing that you blow, like the
Yes.
birthday thing.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a tool to me either.
Right. Yeah, it really shouldn't be. But the biggest one that I want is the phone.
Yeah, that would be really something.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into our last portion of the show, which is Haken's Villager Corner. And this one's going to be a little long because everybody had some good answers, some
Yeah.
long answers to this question. So this week's question was, what was the name of your first town? So, Sergio, I guess
Nice.
you want to start by answering this?
Yes, for sure. And mine is a little bit silly, and it took me a little while to to remember what my very first town name was. So it was in population growing, and it was back in 2003. And at that year, I was barely. I guess that's the year when I really got into soccer, the sport,
Mm-hmm.
and particularly the Mexican league. And my favorite team is Club America. And one of their main facilities, it's like a district or a jurisdiction near to Mexico City. It's called Coapa, Coapa. And I use that for my town name. I don't know why.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Coapa it was.
Yeah. I guess mine, I've talked about this on the show before. I think it was actually the first episode too, where
Right.
my town name, Haken, just kind of happened accidentally. Like I've always called my towns Haken. I just remember I was starting the game with some friends and we ran into this part where we were naming the town and I was like, "Oh, I think we're like naming the town right now. Okay, what should we call it?" And then we quickly found out there was that 8 character limit. So,
Oh, yes.
yeah, after that we were sitting there for a long time just thinking like, "What do we call this?" And then I just randomly typed in Haken. It just came to me. And so that's what we call it now.
Nice, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a fun town to live in. You should all come by and join in on the fun.
And
um,
you kept it the same throughout all your Animal Crossing games, correct?
yes, so every time like I start a town, like I always call it Haken. Like that's my first town. That's the
Right.
original for every game. So
Nice.
yep, it's stuck. It stuck with me forever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so let's get into these answers that we got. Like I said, we got a lot of them, so we can just go back and forth. And I usually start, but let's have you start this time, Sergio.
Sure. So the first answer we have listed is by SHINee, and she says, "Unfortunately, I cannot remember what my town names in Wild World and City Folk were. However, my town in New Leaf was Marimo. Marimo are little moss balls that collect in a certain part of Japan. They're very rare and are considered good luck items. I'm not sure if I'll keep the same name in the Switch game, but I still think it's a cute name. I like it. I like this.
I didn't. I'm looking these things up now
Yeah, it's
too,
very
just
unique.
to take a look. Oh, that's cute. It's just like a ball of moss.
Nice.
And yeah, that's pretty cool. I did not know about that.
Yeah, definitely very unique.
It's a good name too. I like the sound of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Infinite Mallet says, I have a little story about this. In the GameCube Animal Crossing, there were a lot of unique symbols that you could use for your own name and town name. Later games dropped most of them and only kept a few basic ones. I was a lot younger back then and decided it would be cool to just use symbols for my town name and pick two randomly. I ended up with the infinity symbol and a mallet, which I decided to pronounce as Infinite Mallet. I've used it as my screen name and gamer tag ever since, in memory of my first town.
This is an awesome story. I love
Yeah, that is probably the greatest story I've ever heard. That is really cool to just how your little kid self has influenced like just your identity on the internet too.
Man, that's true. And it's funny, I don't know why they removed most of the symbols, but it led to this awesome story. I love it.
Yeah, and they did have a lot of really fun symbols in the
Yeah.
first game, so I think they need to bring back that keyboard with just those symbols.
Nice. Next we have Emily, regular Emily with one Y. And she says, my first town name was France. I used that first in Wild World and continued it on New Leaf. It was quite funny going to the island in New Leaf and having people ask me where in France I'm from and talking to me in French. I had no clue what they were saying. I named it France because I had recently gone to Disneyland Paris on my first ever big holiday abroad. Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. I like the real world like location options for names.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think they're always fun. And France is a good one.
Yeah, I like that it's not a city, but it's the country. That's nice.
Yeah, yeah, that's fun too.
It's big.
Yeah. So Alex, aka Coconut, says, Porter, in Animal Crossing population growing, it was just named after my hometown. It just took roots that, or it just took roots that games even further into, that game even further into nostalgia for me. I don't know.
Mm.
Oh, it just roots that game further into nostalgia
Oh,
for me. Now I understand that sentence. Sorry, I was
yes.
stumbling. Funny fact. I used to think Porter the monkey was just named after whatever you named your town, since he matched mine. I remembered making a new town called Crippen, named after my elementary school at the time, and after seeing his name not change, I was like, oh.
That
yeah,
is so cool.
when I saw that name, I was like, oh, that's like Porter. And I imagine you didn't know Porter was a character when you named it that.
Right.
And so I like that it added to the funniness by thinking Porter was just named after the town.
Yeah, that's awesome. So he was Porter from Porter.
Yeah. And that's interesting too, because like it'd be interesting to have a character that's just named after your town and you technically name that character too. Like
Oh.
there could be a monkey at the front that's named Haken, you know? And they're like, this is my town.
Nice. Next we have Emily with two E's, and she says, in population growing, my first ever town was named after the state I was born in, Virginia. It was home to my first best friend, Rosie, as well as Cov, Pudge, Kabuki, Tangy, and Pee Wee. Virginia was deleted long ago, but I still have fond memories of my Animal Crossing roots. Nice.
Yeah.
And, it barely fit.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say, does that even fit? It does. But yeah, also I'm sad about all the Animal Crossing games I had before that were just deleted. You know,
Right.
they didn't survive my years, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know why I raised my city folk town, and sadly I do not remember what my town name was. So I cannot even go back and check.
Yeah, I'm sad about all the towns I've erased in the past.
Yeah.
But now I know better. My new Leaf Town, always gonna have it. Never gonna delete it.
Oh yes, no, no.
And I have yours, and I'm never gonna delete yours either. And you know what? Even like the population growing town that I got recently, saved on like the memory card that came with
Mhm.
that game. I bought it off eBay. There was a town still on it. I don't think I could delete it. Like
No,
they clearly put a lot of time into this game.
right.
Like their house was paid off and everything, which was really hard to do in those old games. It was
Oh
harder to
yeah,
get money. So yeah, I'm keeping it forever.
yeah. We are town keepers
Yep. Now.
now.
So Joe says my first population growing town name I think was Osaka, as I really liked Japan even as a kid. And yeah,
Nice.
I like it now too. And
Yeah,
I feel like going with like a Japanese town name, you can't go wrong.
yeah, yeah. And I think gamers overall are fond of Japanese culture and naming. So yeah, it definitely works.
Yeah.
Next we have Wolf Bites, and they say I was really young when me and my big bro for got Animal Crossing population growing, and we named our town our hometown name DeKalb. It's kind of unoriginal, but we were both really young. I would never go back and change it though. Actually, I like it a lot. I kind of like words that have like two words into one, and each one has a capital letter at the beginning. So I think it's fancy. I like it.
Yeah, and even like though it's going with the name of your town or like where you actually lived,
Hmm.
I think that's fine too. Like our first choice was the town where we grew up in, but it was
Mm.
9 letters, so we
Oh,
couldn't fit it. And then it just didn't look right without the last letter, so
oh. Mhm.
we decided to say no to that one, and that's when we had to come up with something else. So going with whatever you came up with just because that's where you lived, I think that's fine, you know.
Yes, definitely.
So Grizzly Nina says, my Wild World town's name was Seabrig. I wanted the name to have something to do with the bay or the ocean, since fishing seemed to be the main form of commerce in town. I thought it sounded like a cute little fishing village.
Yeah, I
And
like it.
yeah, I like that one too. And yeah, fishing is a lot of the things you do in that. So
Yeah,
I
it,
think it's a
it's
good name to go
it
with.
has a cool ring to it, but it sounds original too.
Yeah, yeah. And it does give you like, oh, this is a coastal town, which, you
Yes.
know, technically every town in Animal Crossing is.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't think we'll ever be able to escape like the ocean in the game.
True. Nice. Next we have Grace or a penguin named Abraham, and they say Dunboyne. It's Irish, in case you couldn't tell. The name of my actual hometown. It's been the name of my town in every game since Wild World, my first game. I'm thinking of coming up with an original name for Switch 2, but still something Irish, so it's not too different. I like it.
Yeah, that's
Dunboyne.
fun. It's fun to go with, like I said, that first hometown that you grew up in. I think it's nice to keep that as like a little memento of it, you know, like this is how I remember the town. I remember it being great, you know?
Right. And
Yeah.
and I like how he's thinking of changing the name, but still keeping something Irish on it. Yeah, we definitely want to hear back from everyone participating in what you name your towns in the Animal Crossing Switch game.
Yeah, that may be a question in the future, what you're going to name your Animal Crossing Switch town. So,
Right.
you already know my answer. So next we have Sam Shine, and she says, I honestly don't remember. I can't check either. My GameCube broke in 2011, my Wii died in 2013,
Oh
and my original Wild World was lost on an airplane trip in 2013, along with all but one of my DS games. So,
no.
yeah. Maybe one day I'll get a new GameCube and Wii, and thankfully my little brother gifted me his Animal Crossing town in Wild World because he understood how sad I was about losing my Wild World town. So at least I have access to his Wild World, but it's not my original town. That that I'll need a GameCube for. um, yeah, and I guess even with that, like you could just get a replacement Wii too.
Oh yeah, that's
Which
true.
like instead of getting the GameCube, like you could opt for the Wii instead because that plays both of them.
Right, right.
Um, which Yeah, that's super sad about your DS getting lost on a trip.
Right.
That's worst nightmare right
Oh
there.
man.
Yeah, I'm usually really good about things. Uh, like, I don't expect I'll ever leave my Switch on a plane or anything because
Mhm.
that's the first thing out in my bag. Like, I put my Switch away, I put it in my bag, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm ready. um, like, it doesn't leave me at
Right.
all.
Right. Right. Yeah.
um, but while I was at my brother's place, I left my Pokeball controller, and I kind of haven't been playing Pokemon because of that.
Oh, okay. Right. Right.
Because I enjoyed playing it with the controller. Yes, it's
Yeah.
small and it cramps up your hand, but it's so worth it.
Oh yeah. It's the way to go.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's maybe, but I'm glad it sounds like you still have the memory card for your GameCube town, which is more
True.
than a lot of us can say.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so maybe at one point you will be able to go back to it. Like I recently got a GameCube for like $40 at a retro store. So there are options out there, you know?
Yeah. And if you do, Sunshine, let us know what your names were for sure.
Yeah, that would be great.
Next we have Dragonflame323, and he says, I named my first town Emerald for no specific reason other than it's the handle of someone that's very important to me. I also once made a secondary villager who lived in my town and named her Emerald after her as well. That's really nice.
Yeah, that's really special to have somebody that's like the reason behind your town name, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
very
that a
nice.
lot. What were you going to say?
No, I'm just saying this is the nicest dragon I know. Most
Oh,
dragons are not this nice.
oh yeah. Some dragons are pretty fiery. All right, and so our final answer is from Tab, who says, my first town was also named Emerald. Oh, so another Emerald name.
Yeah.
It is my birthstone and the birthstone of someone special to me. Oh, another special
Mm.
person. It was my town name in Wild World, City Folk, and New Leaf. I plan to have a different town name when Animal Crossing comes to the Switch with an equally special meaning. But for now, that's a secret. So I'm glad it's a secret too, because this may be a question later. So you will have it for the future, unless you want to keep it secret then too. Because I think some people are, like they're not planning on revealing their town name quite yet.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fine.
which, you know what? Maybe you don't know what my town name's gonna be. Just kidding. Mine's
Nice.
too easy. I can't escape Haken at this point. Like, I always want to go back to it.
Nice.
Yeah. So that all of your answers have been great. It's been really fun seeing what everybody has named their town, and the reasons behind it too were awesome. So
Yes, definitely.
yeah, always really fun to hear from everyone.
Right.
Y- yeah. Did you have anything else to say about the show, Sergio?
It was really good, and so my town name is Madera now in New Leaf, and I'm still torn. I think I'm gonna keep it like 80% or maybe 90%. I'm keeping it. If I do change it, it's gonna be to arena, which is sand in Spanish, but when you type it out, it sounds like arena, like
Yeah.
like a sporting arena, and I kind of don't want that. So I think I'm just gonna stay with Madera.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part with it. Like, it doesn't translate as well on paper when
Right.
you're speaking different languages. So
Right. Right.
that's the hard part. But yeah, once again, I want to remind you all that we're having a live show later this week in a couple days once this episode airs. So that's December 20th, 2018, 10 p.m. Eastern on our Discord. Like I said, check out the links. And yeah, December 20th, be there, 10 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be fun. And thank you all so much for listening. If you want to be part of the conversation on all things Animal Crossing, please join the Discord. I have a link in the description of this podcast. It's totally free to join. You don't have to be a patron. And if you do join, you can get Sergio and my friend codes. If you do want to be a patron, please visit patreon.com/ChewiePlaysNintendo for just $1. You can support our show and get tons of cool things. You can see our current goals, what we're trying to make happen with the show, anything that we've got planned in the future, and you get access to these questions as well, so you can be part of the show in a little way. So it's pretty fun. We really try to make it worth it for you because we appreciate the support. And if you're watching or listening on YouTube, please leave a comment about how you'd like tools to be used in the future. And please leave a review of this show wherever you're listening. It helps the show gain some visibility and allows our community to grow. And once again, thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.